Hi, good day. This is Teacher Rika, your math teacher. What we are going to talk about is addition involving fractions. There are some high school students who find fractions difficult or they are trying to avoid them, especially when we're dealing with polynomials, operations on polynomials. So here's a review. How do we add fractions with the same denominators? For example, if we're given 5 halves plus 3 halves, in which they have the common denominator 2, you simply add the numerators 5 plus 3, which will give us 8 divided by 2, or 8 over 2. To get the final answer by dividing, that's simply 4. But why did we expand the factors? This is for the sake of the other fractions whose numerator is not divisible by the denominator. So if we try to get the prime factors of 8, that's 2 times 2 times 2 times 1, and the prime factors of the denominator, that's 2 times 1, and then cross out the same factors. 2 divided by 2, that will give us 1, so we're left with 2 times 1, which is 4, and then over 1, which is simply 4. How about 5 over 8 plus 13 over 8? So simply add 5 and 13, which will give us 18. Over 8, copy the denominator. Then by simplifying, if there's a common factor, that becomes 1 already. So we're left with 3 times 3 times 1 for the numerator and 2 times 2 times 1 for the denominator. So that's 9 over 4. How about 17 over 21 plus 8 over 21 plus 5 over 21? So you add the 3 numerators, which will give us 30 over 21. Copy the denominator. And then simplify, cross out the same factor, which will give us 1. So we're left with 5 times 2 times 1, which is 10 for the numerator, and 7 times 1 for the denominator. So that's the final answer. How about if we have different denominators? For example, 2/3 plus 1/2. In here, the denominator is 3. In here, the denominator is 2. So instead of finding the multiples of the denominator, I prefer to find the common factors of them, or the prime factors of these denominators. Prime factors of 3, 3 times 1. Prime factors of 2 are 2 and 1. And then I get those factors which are not the same, disregarding 1. So we have 3 times 2. That's the new denominator. How do we get the new numerators? For the first one, divide 6 by 3. 6 divided by 3 will give us 2. Multiply it to the numerator. 2 times 2 will give us 4 in here. 6 divided by 2 will give us 3. Multiply it to 1 in the numerator. 3 times 1 will give us 3. So that's the new numerators. And then add the numerator. Since they have the same denominators, you simply copy the denominator, 6. Next, 7 over 9 plus 5/3. So I get the prime factors of 9. That's 3, 3 and 1. Prime factors of 3, 3 and 1. Since they have the same, they have a common factor of 3 in here, that is counted as 1. So we're left with 3, and then 1 pair of 3 times 1. That means the new denominator will be 9. And then what are the new numerators? Divide 9 to 9. That will give us 1 times 7. So that's 7 in here. Divide 9 by 3, that's 3 times 5, that is 15. So since they have the same denominator, copy the denominator, add the numerator. Since it has no lowest term, you cannot get the lowest term because this is already the simplified answer. So that's it. How do we add 11 over 3 plus 8 over 3 plus 7 over 3 as a practice? Since the 3 are having the same denominators, you simply copy the denominator and then add the numerator. If we cannot simplify it anymore, that's the final answer. 2/5 plus 3 over 7. So get the prime factors of 5. 5 times 1, 7. That's 7 times 1. And then get the factors of this, disregarding 1. So 5 times 7, that's 35. That's the new denominator for the two fractions. Divide 35 by 5, that's 7, times 2, that's 14. 35 divided by 7, that's 5 times 3, it's 15. Add the numerators, 14 plus 15, that's 29. Copy the denominator, 35. How about 7 over 12 plus 11 over 4 plus 1 half? So we can get the prime factors of the three denominators. 12 can be expressed as 3 times 2 times 2 times 1. 4 can be expressed as 2 times 2 times 1. And 2 can be expressed as 2 times 1. So what are the common factors disregarding 1? We have 2 for the three denominators. So that's considered as one factor. And then we have 3. And we also have 2 in here. So that is equal to 3 times 2, 6 times 2, 12. That means the new numerator is 12. And if you find it difficult to get the prime factors, but I prefer that, you can also get the multiples. So the multiples of 12 are 12, 24, 36. The multiples of 4 are 4, 8, 12, 16. The multiples of 2 are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. And the least common multiple that they have is 12. So that's just the same. So the new denominators, or the new denominator is 12. And how do we get the new numerators for each fraction? We simply divide 12 divided by 12, that's 1, times 7, that will give us 7 in here. 12 divided by 4, that's 3, times 11, that's 33. 12 divided by 2, that's 6, times 1, that's why it's 6 in there. Then 7 plus 33 plus 6 will give us 46 divided by 12. And if we can still simplify that, we can express 46 as 23 times 2 and 12 as 6 times 2, where 2 are the common factors. So we're left with 23 over 6. That's why it's the final answer. Now, if you would like to answer this activity, you can pause the video. So by getting the common denominator, you can either use this process in here, get the common factors, or get the multiples. So that's your choice. Okay, so that ends our review about addition of fractions. I hope I helped you in reviewing addition involving fractions. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell to get notified for the next videos. And I hope you're following all of the other videos I have made. Thank you and see you for the next lesson.